So I got a new character model. I mean, I am a real boy. Next question. Because we have more important things to talk about than me getting an updated character model. I mean, not breaking the fourth wall at all. We have to talk about Grindr. Grindr is a cancer in the community for several different reasons. Multiple reasons that some play hand in hand and some are separate. There was a point in time when I was on the app very frequently, and I would have to experience these kind of things daily when I would use the app that would make the apps just so lackluster and so disturbing. We want to talk about the things that I wish we could fix as a community and just make better, so that way us as a community together, we can use the app and actually use it the way it should be used for our benefit, instead of it just being some kind of hookup app. But before we can get into how to make the app better, we have to get into the problems. What makes it bad, right? What makes the app bad? You may ask. There's a lot of things that make it bad. The fact that the app is filled up with a whole bunch of sad, desperate, straight males. There's a lot of sad, desperate, straight males in the app. A lot of them that just come on the app looking for easy hookups with guys, and guys that are effeminate and or trans women. They go on there because they cannot actually manage to get themselves an actual female that they feel more comfortable with, and so they try to come in and take advantage of more desperate people that's on the app that is willing to have sexual intercourse with these terrible individuals who are just low self-esteem, and will literally turn around and throw them underneath the bus if the tide came that somebody was to question their sexuality and find out that they were indeed having sex with another male or a trans woman. They would throw them underneath the bus in a couple ticks. That's a shame that we accept such treatment in our community, especially upon that app. We shouldn't accept those kind of things at all. But yet we do. And that goes hand in hand with the fetishes of trans women and effeminate males or femboys or anyone that falls underneath that sort of category. There's a lot of fetish in the community on this app. Some people purposely play into the hand of the fetish because they're just desperate for sex, while others just mindlessly accept it because they don't feel like they can get anything better. And that is a disappointment. That is a shame within our community that we let that happen to us. Why don't we stand up on our own 2 feet and and demand to be treated as we should be as human beings? Just because we're gay or pansexual or whatever our identification is doesn't mean we should be treated like sex slaves. I've had times where I went on the app looking for a conversation, looking to find somebody to communicate with and talk to, and I come on there and I'm like, hey, hello, how you doing? And try to start a conversation. The person would block me, or the person would be like, like, why are we talking with this chit chat and all this other kind of stuff? Like, how come we don't actually get to the main topic at hand, which is having sex or whatever? Maybe I'm not looking for that, you dumbass. Maybe I'm looking for actual communication, okay, like regular human beings should. All right, maybe I want to build a bond first. Maybe I want to actually learn who the person is that I'm talking to before I let them do whatever the fuck they want to do, fondle me or whatever the fuck that they got in their mind.
Bucky, don't let her access any of your holes!
But if you come on the Grindr app, you're considered an idiot for doing such a thing. That is the reason why the app is just so terrible. One of the main reasons why the app is so terrible, because that app is forsaken. The app is seen as nothing more than a hookup app. And the thing is that it's the main area where the vast majority of at least the males of the LGBTQ plus community go. Males and trans women go to find relationships and things like that. But it's so toxic, and it's been this way for such a long time. I don't think when the founders made this app, I don't think they foresaw that it would become like this. I don't think they foreseen this happening, but eventually it became like this because we as the LGBTQ plus community let it get this way. DLs, where DLs think that they are like the superiority over every other kind of person on the app, like they are the most straightest or something. Okay, you're not straight. I'm sorry to burst your little dumbass bubble, but you're not straight, okay? You are gay, whether you want to admit it or not. You're gay. You're gay, okay? You're gay. A lot of people refuse to admit that, and that's where the DL culture comes in at, which I hate. The DL culture is terrible on that app, and I wish it would go away. But it's prevalent. It's very prevalent. And I don't see it going away anytime soon. Like I say, homophobia within the DL community and just the sad, desperate straight guys where they feel like they're like above all the rest of the gay guys or whatever on the app. Conflict on the app is also a bad thing. that draws more distance and just more terribleness on the app that it just doesn't need to be. And it's like the app was made to bring the community together. The app just has terrible scams and terrible ads plastered all over it, which also brings down the overall grade of the app. It's kind of like going to a neighborhood and you see a whole bunch of tagged walls and cracked sidewalks and ruined streets and broken down cars. It's a perfect breeding ground for bullshit and fuckery to happen. And it's the exact same thing when it comes to Grindr. It's basically that. It's like a fucked up neighborhood. And that's where all the bullshit goes to get stirred up. Now, if we juxtapose that with something to the likes of Tinder, Tinder is a flawed app as well, but nowhere near as flawed as Grindr for several different reasons. Number one, Tinder is more of an app where they know their position. They know that not everyone within the straight community uses that app. They know not the vast majority of the people within the straight community using that app because, first of all, the straight community is what's considered to be normal, as placed to that heteronormativity video that I made the last time, where it is the social norm to be straight. Therefore, you can go around and, meet up with somebody at a bar and, or just talk to somebody that you see on the street and get their number, and it's just regular. Like, if you're interested in a person, you don't have to worry about like, oh, what if they're not gay, or what if they are homophobic? Like, you don't have to worry about those kind of things, which for a person like me, I do have to worry about those kind of things, which prevents me from wanting to go up to people that I might find cute or interesting or whatever and express my romantic interest in them, because I'm afraid for my own safety, which is something that heterosexual people don't have to worry about. And I would never wish them to have to worry about that. What I'm saying is that also plays into why Tinder knows that they have to step up their game to get people to use the app, because they know that majority of the straight people don't really use the app. They just do what every other normal person does, which is try to find it. There's plenty of spaces IRL to find love. But in this gay and LGBTQ community in general, there's not that many safe spaces. And even in the places that we consider to be safe, we can still have people come up in there and do terrible things, like the shooting at a gay bar and all kind of stuff, where it's like even the places that you would hope to be safe cannot be safe. With that being said, Tinder uses a lot more safe checks and balances and just a lot more higher standard maintenance of the app to keep people engaged and not make it run down or feel like people cannot safely engage with others. Like, you can't even text another person without matching with them. There's no terrible ads on there. There's no scams. I've never seen any of that on Tinder, but there's all that on Grindr. But the thing is that I believe that if Tinder was to become like Grindr, there would be a strong outrage within the heterosexual community against Tinder, and Tinder would be no more. But when it comes to Grindr has a chokehold on our community because they know their position. Grindr knows that the vast majority of the LGBTQ plus community they consider themselves to be outcasts, and we feel outcasted by the rest of the society. So therefore we rely on apps such as Grindr and Hinge to make our connections when we feel that we can't do in real life due to our safety. And so therefore they take advantage of this because they feel like we will come back to the app anyway. They don't have to make any updates because we're going to use the app anyway. They could let scams and terrible ads run rampant and just malarkey, and we'll still come back to the app because we have to. As well, straight people just have a different outlook on relationships than the LGBTQ plus community does. As far as I'm concerned, majority of the LGBTQ plus community is more fluid in their relationship. The heterosexual community is more about monogamy, just more uptight about relationship type of things, where that type of culture is not really as accepted there. That type of more strictness and more uniformness is more seen on Tinder versus Grindr. I'm not saying that our culture of how we perceive relationships to be is wrong. I'm just saying that also has an impact on the app and how it is used and how it has become the way it is now. But there's a way we can fix it. We have to make more open spaces in real life to frolic and communicate, and we have to work harder to create open spaces like how the heterosexual community has, to be able to engage with each other more out in the open without the need of apps. And of course we have gay bars, we have gay parades, and we have things like that, but Like that's a more condensed area. I want us to be more open, like how like straight people don't have all these specific type of places where they can frolic and they just mingle anywhere and everywhere. We need to be like that as well. I'm not saying we stop doing what we do, but I'm saying we also need to be willing and striving to become more integrated as normals in the society, because we are normal. There's nothing wrong with who we are, and the society should perpetuate and treat us as such. And once we get to that position, then we'll be able to disregard apps such as Grindr, and then Grindr will be, in order to try to draw us back, they would be forced to fix the problems that has been plaguing the app, to where then we will have the Grindr that we all wanted. But until then, Grindr will remain the same, unchanged, unscathed, and having a chokehold in our community. I'd like to know you guys' opinion on this and what you guys think, as always. And you know, if you guys have some different type of outlook, or if you guys feel some other type of way about what I said, please feel free to engage in the comments and give me your opinion. And so hopefully you guys enjoyed. Juicy topics next time. That's all I can really say. But yeah, until next time, thank you for listening.